There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Welcome back to Could It Be?
An Oak Island podcast.
We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Yo, what up?
What up, yo?
It's been a long off season.
Oh, yeah. It feels really good to hear that intro again.
It does.
I'm pretty excited. I'm glad to be back.
Well, what did you think overall of the first episode of season 7?
Wow, we're on season 7, first off. And second,
Wow.
Awesome.
Awesome.
We got the Swamp Brick Road.
The Swamp Brick Road.
Yeah, we know it wasn't yellow, but we can totally dive into that topic in a little bit.
Yeah, well, it looked more gray, right? But yeah,
More
it's
stone.
like a brick road in the swamp. That's kind of insane. That was the furthest thing from my mind when I turned on the episode last night.
Yeah, I was thinking about a ship.
Yeah, I thought we'd do a lot more
Ship talk.
investigation concerning a potential ship in the swamp, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take all the discoveries. We don't have to have just certain ones, right?
Yeah. What about, the brick road that leads to the ship that happens to be very permanent?
I mean, that's super cool. It's weird that we didn't get any kind of feedback on that when they did the seismic testing. That's a little bit strange to me because at the end of last season, I think they did that one Maddie Blake special where Maddie went and sat down with the guys at Eagle Canada with, the Fellowship of the Dig. They're all sitting around the table and they're going over this data that, and that's where Marty says, okay, if you guys aren't going to say it, is it a SHIP, right?
Is that what we're all
Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, but they didn't say, hey, there's like some kind of weird path just north of this ship anomaly.
Yeah. Well, they had to know there was something there or else they wouldn't have said start over there. They've got to start somewhere. It's just that what we saw at the end of the last season was the big thing that everybody's like, ship.
Well, last season, the very first episode of last season, they said, hey, we're going to go after the big three. We're going to go after the Money Pit, Smith's Cove, and the swamp, right? And
then you got the swamp on the last episode, and you were super excited until you didn't get anything.
It was just crazy. Like, we didn't get any swamp all season until that last episode, but hey, it was worth it.
Yeah, we're diving in here awfully quick.
Really quick.
We need to, let's back up and...
Who are you?
Who am I? Well, I hope you know. Let's introduce ourselves to, hopefully we have new listeners.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
Right? So last season 6, is when you and I started getting into this. We are a husband and wife treasure hunting team.
What's your name?
My name's Deidre.
And my name's Dustin.
What up, yo?
Yo.
If you're just tuning in here, you're going to learn we're big fans of the 90s and puns. Mm-hmm. Plenty of dad jokes.
Yeah, I'm a master.
Yeah. Yeah, they're nonstop. And we are not affiliated with the History Channel.
That's not for a lack of trying.
Not for lack of trying. So big shout out to all of our friends that email History, because we were trying a little bit of a campaign there to see if they make us the official one.
Yeah, but they don't have an official podcast for the Curse of Oak Island. Who knows? Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Or maybe mid-season. I don't know. Hey, if you guys want to call me History Channel, call me.
Yeah. We'll make sure our number is at the end of this podcast. So if you're dying to call, and it'll be in the show notes too, so it's easy for you to access.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a voicemail line.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening to the show, at the end of the show, we're going to spiel off the number, but you can feel free to give us a call, leave us a voicemail. We may play it on the air. We may not, it just depends on what you want. So just tell us what you're thinking and, we'll take it from there. But yeah, so yeah, we are a husband and wife team. Like she said, we love the Curse of Oak Island, just like all you guys, right?
We're just big fans.
We're big fans.
And that's why we're here.
And we're just so you know a little bit more about us before we really dive in. I really want to get to that.
Dive into the swamp.
Yeah, I want to dive into the swamp. Like Tony Sampson.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, We're a little too excited.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Deidre and I are treasure hunters ourselves, and we hunt for primarily armchair treasure hunts.
Curated hunts by authors or various other people. We're very interested in historical hunts as well.
Yep.
It's a hobby, nonstop.
So something our listeners from last season asked us about is if we would start a new podcast just dedicated to those kind of treasure hunts.
Yes.
And during the off season of this, the Could It Be Oak Island podcast and the Curse of Oak Island, we started a new podcast called Boots and Armchairs, a treasure hunters podcast. And we've got a number of episodes. So if you want to go and look us up in your podcast player for Boots and Armchairs, feel free to do so.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool subjects we've covered, a lot of cool treasure hunts. We even have a beginner's guide to how to get into these treasure hunts. So
resources.
Yeah. And so go check that stuff out. It'll be a lot of fun for you to learn about. And then you could join in and try to find some kind of treasure yourself.
Yeah. Yep. So we love it. Nonstop. Can't stop, won't stop.
We won't stop. We love treasure hunting.
Can't stop, won't stop. Oh man, I've missed you guys.
I've missed you guys too. Hey, something that the audio listeners may not be aware of, we are doing a video.
We're trying something.
Now. And so we are recording this on video at the same time as the audio, obviously. And then we are going to have this go up on YouTube. And so you'll be able to watch the podcast on YouTube as well, if that's your thing.
Yeah, I know we have a number of listeners that access the podcast through YouTube, so we're giving this a try.
We'll see how it goes. Now,
we're telling you, if it's really bad, it's not getting put out
It's going to be fine.
We'll see.
It's going to be good.
I don't know if it'll be better than them staring just like at our logo on the screen and hearing us, or if they actually want to see our faces. Then
I'll look at the camera sometimes and wave. I know the people on the audio can't see that, but I'll just be like, hey, I know you guys are there. I
see you.
Yeah, we're pointing at our eyes. We're pointing at the lens. We see you guys.
We see
you. See us anyway.
Actually, because we can't see you. That would be creepy.
Yeah. Anyway, another cool thing that happened to us this off season is we were on a big TV show as well.
Yeah.
We were on the Discovery Channel.
Yep. We were on the Discovery Channel searching for buried treasure with Josh Gates on Expedition Unknown.
And that goes back to one of our armchair treasure hunts that we are heavily invested in.
Yes.
And we mentioned it many times last season on the Could It Be podcast, The Secret.
And you guys really got invested in The Secret because at the top of every episode last season, we kept telling you what our updates were.
Yeah, maybe not every episode.
Yeah, but we focused on it a lot last year. So you probably heard more about it than... Anyways, we like to bring you the current news in the treasure hunting world at the top of the podcast.
But thankfully, we have a whole podcast just for that now.
We do. You're right.
We might touch on it here and there on this podcast, but it's going to be primarily a Boots and Armchairs thing.
Yep.
So
copy that. Roger Dodger.
Yeah. So is there anything else crazy that's happened this offseason? Anyway, so like she was saying real quick, Expedition Unknown. We were on the episode that aired on October 2nd. So pretty recently, just about a month ago.
Yep.
And we were searching for buried treasure in San Francisco. And it was awesome.
It was quite an experience. Experience once in a lifetime.
Yeah. And we didn't find our treasure, but since then, somebody has found one of those treasures of the secret in Boston.
That was so cool.
A guy named Jason
and his family.
His family, and it was a beautiful episode. So go back to Expedition Unknown and check some of those out. Yep. But I know you guys are here for a different kind of treasure hunt.
Yes.
One that's even older than the secret.
One with secret societies.
Maybe. The Freemasons.
Possibly. Could it be?
Yes. I think it's the Knights Templar still.
Maybe they're all friends.
Maybe.
I'm going with yes.
Yeah. Before we really jump in, did you guys? What did you think about these preseason episodes we had with Maddie Blake this year?
I like the fact that we had a little something leading up to it that got people excited. We could sit around and debate whether or not we agreed in the ranking of the top 25.
Yep.
My favorite one was the top 25 moments you didn't see.
That was awesome.
And I agree with the top moment.
Do you?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It was. I think it was needed because even in the off season, people were making their own Gilligan's Island remixes about Oak Island.
They were.
And Marty already had one.
Yeah. Well,
he was ready to go.
Yeah, he mostly did the normal song and then just threw in a couple things at the very end, but it was good.
It was
really good. Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about,
go back and watch the episode.
Go watch those or what were they? Weren't recaps. They were this basically
top 25, whatever.
Yeah, they're preseason stuff. And
preseason?
Yeah,
is this football? So
no, it's Oak Island.
Okay, so do we have a draft before Oak Island starts? Oh, that actually sounds kind of fun.
I'll take Gary Drayton. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Then I'm taking Charles because we're gonna school y'all.
I get Billy.
No!
He should have been your number 1 draft pick.
I'm so sorry, Billy. I will trade you.
Who's the one digging all those big holes?
I will trade you 2 Bobby Dazzlers for a Billy.
Yeah, no thanks. Anyway, so those top 25s were a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were saying, the top 25 moments you never saw featured, the number 1 featured Marty singing the Gilligan's Island theme song. And the funniest part for me wasn't just him singing it. It was, he said one word wrong and Rick was like trying to correct him rest of the time that he was singing the theme song.
No. Yeah. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, okay, I'll give you that one. Then they were both deliriously tired. Kind of like when we usually do the podcast, it's really late at night. And
usually
we're kind of deliriously tired right now. It's like middle of the day.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try to get the podcast out on a more regular basis. Last year we're
getting organized, guys.
It was a little bit more, it was tougher for us, right? And we would put out the podcast like 4 or 5 days after it aired. We're going to try to do it the day after it airs.
We're going to try. We're going to try at least do it. Let's see here. We go within 2 days at the very least, because I'm thinking about editing time. It just depends on whether or not we can.
Sorry, I meant recording it the day after.
Yes, we can record the day after, but we gotta get better at no more so's, all of our fillers.
Boom.
Goes the dynamite!
Isn't boom your favorite filler?
Yeah, I'll be sad if that ever fully goes away, but our listeners can be really sad. They can't have to hear goes the dynamite all the time.
Yeah. So, go back and watch all of those cool top 25 moments or top 25 things, because there was top 25 theories, top 25 moments you never saw, top 25 finds, right? I think there's like 4 of them. So go back and check those out. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, make it so.
Make it so.
Make it so. No, put your phone away.
No. You had to say that, and I have this ready to go.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, make it so. Make it so. Make it so. Now, it doesn't show signs of stuff.
That's enough. That was fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that.
No, I'm not sure why you had it queued up. I'm a bit concerned.
Because I just knew. I knew something was going to happen where Make It So was going to be brought up. I don't know. I know you had, because I mentioned it earlier today before we did recording. And so that's why I brought it up. But I subconsciously implanted it in your brain so you would bring it up and so that I can play that. So boom.
Goes the dynamite!
So I win.
All right. We're back and ready to go. Okay. We are in almost 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the episode. We talked about the episode right off the bat. Okay. We jumped right in.
We did. So can we jump right back in?
Yes. Let's jump.
Jump around. Jump around. Okay. So make it so. I got to stop using the fillers. That being said,
yes,
typically at the top of a new season, we get the stop right before we drive on the causeway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Rick and Marty. But Marty was missing.
Marty was missing.
And it was it was so different from last season when they stopped at the causeway and you could feel this excitement. They walk into the war room and it's Fellowship of the Day, blah, blah, blah. But it was a little bit more
somber.
Yeah, I think that's the word for it.
Yeah, well, the figurehead, the leader, Dan Blankenship, this is the first start of season without him around.
Yeah, he
passed away.
It's so sad.
It is sad.
But as Rick says, he calls it, let's make it the year of Dan.
Well, I hope it's
the year of Dan.
It is the year of Dan. And I hope they have some amazing successes and they could thank Dan for, all of his years of contributions by repaying him with some gold or something, right?
Some gold.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs gold anymore.
Well,
but
his son would appreciate it.
I'm sure his son would appreciate it.
His son loves the gold.
What was the comment? Carrie says there's a little bit of Dan in all of us, and Dave goes, "There's a lot of him in me."
That was really good. That was a good moment to break up the. Because everybody was feeling real sad at that moment in the war room.
Dave is good at that. He kind of throws a little something in there.
And he's the right person to break that moment up, and to make it a little lighter.
A lot. There's about 50%. If we're looking at DNA. Just saying.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So full war room today, though.
Full war room. Who was in there? we had Rick and Alex and
Craig,
because they all drove in together. Who else was there?
We had also Dave and Doug.
Okay.
Charles. Laird. Dan Hensky. Steve.
Oh, the surveyor.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
And Billy.
Yeah. Billy is the king of the war room.
And the kid.
Billy
the kid,
Okay.
Actually, I have dubbed him this season King of the Cove. So, Billy, King of the Cove.
I like it.
I like it too.
He's going to be digging some big holes in Smith's Cove this year.
He's digging the cove,
Right that bump out.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They also called that Dan's bump out because he was the one that was like, should have gone out another 50 feet. And what are they doing? Going out another 50 feet.
Huh? He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, it was different than last season.
But it was still good.
It was still good.
It was. It feels good. I feel like I'm back in the war room.
Yeah, well, I feel ready.
I'm ready.
Season.
And then, but it was so weird that Marty and Jack weren't there.
But they were there.
They joined by a teleconference, but I was still really bummed. Like Marty's my main man. I relate to Marty. He had a lot of great snarky comments this episode that he was like, into the breach, back to the swamp. I hate the swamp, but I want answers. The used to be millionaire brother and his brother.
No, that was from the
Gilligan's
Island thing.
The used to be millionaire and whatever. That was hilarious. I was bummed he wasn't there yet, but it was like a day or two later he came or something.
Yeah. You're not going to keep him away, right?
No. He's got to go make money to keep the operation going.
He's got quite the investment in Oak Island, so he's got to, literally.
I don't think anybody really calls Oak Island an investment. More of a money pit. Like, boo, there goes my money. What I did love is a lot of great Craig Tester this episode. It felt like we got more, I was going to say more words out of him.
More speech.
More speech, more... he's a really smart guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked seeing some more from him. And maybe that's because Marty wasn't there. But, he's got some great input to add. So,
did you know that Craig just put his house up for sale in Michigan?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's only like $3.95 million or something like that.
Yeah, he's got to sell it to throw it in the money pit. He's got to move to Oak Island. He's going to get a shack or something.
A shack.
Well, he's got to have the rest of the money to invest in Oak Island. It's a big operation this year. So
it is a big operation.
Yeah. This is no joke, yo.
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 Yo, yo.
Yo. Yo. What are you walking the dog? Like, yo, yo, yo. Okay. let's back up.
Okay.
I've already celebrated our victory of Billy being there.
Oh, yeah.
Billy's my homeboy.
Yeah, he's definitely earned his seat at the table.
Yes.
You know, his fandom, because he has a big fandom behind him now. That may have got him his seat at
I hope so.
At the table.
Because then I would feel like I contributed to Billy.
Yeah, I think so.
And anybody that did.
But he's like super important even if he didn't have the fan base that he has.
No, he's been there forever.
Yeah.
That guy and his digging abilities.
Surgical
Billy. Surgical. We use that line a lot at this house. Like, if we need you to be careful, surgical Billy. Surgical. Steve, Guphill.
Guptill.
Yep. Thank you, Till. It talks to us a bit about the anomaly.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing they left us off of with, like, at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's just a big...
It's a big anomaly.
It's just a big deal, too. Like, it's something that they are dying to search. You know they are.
Yeah. Could it be a SHIP?
YES?
YES.
I think so.
Could it be?
Could it be?
It could be.
I think it could be.
Gary is really sold. Did you? So anytime he's in the war room and someone's talking about the anomaly or the Yellow Brick Road, it's, the bigger the ship, the more the treasure. Oh, great, we have a Spanish galleon and a road.
Yeah.
He is sold. He's like, what that's for?
For
unloading treasure.
Loading and unloading treasure, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I think Gary on the off season really was even more convinced. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't remember what my opinion was about the.
You don't remember your opinion
about the swamp? Like, was a channel between two islands previously.
You were okay with it.
Yeah, I think I'm even more okay with it now.
I was very anti this idea,
mm-hmm.
but I'm with Marty. I'm very much relating with Marty already on this first season, but I always do.
Figures.
If that's where the evidence takes us, that's where the evidence takes us.
Yeah.
And a road that is, it's flat on top and it's got the drop off on either side. It's straight. I mean, that says man-made.
Yep.
And maybe I shouldn't get too excited because in the money pit, we had all those crazy anomalies after we, boom goes the dynamite and got the info
testing.
back. Yeah. See, boom. This is more seismic testing. I know we haven't done seismic testing in the swamp, and it's the only person to really dive into it is Fred Nolan and to really do a lot of research.
Well, he was a surveyor by trade, so he knew every square inch of that swamp.
Yep.
I don't think he had the ability to drain it like they can now.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. I don't know much about his work there, really, beyond what they show on TV.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, something that was cool this season, his son.
Yeah,
Tom.
I wanted to touch on that too. Definitely.
Yeah, Tom is going to be part of the Oak Island team, apparently.
Yeah.
And that means...
full time.
That means everybody's together.
Yeah.
We're working with Nolan's and Blankenships. And they're coming together.
Yeah.
And they're not fighting. Well, that we know of.
That we know of.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah. And then we're also working with Freemasons and all the people.
Who's a Freemason?
I don't know. I saw that Charles got a new hat.
He did.
With his big old cross in the middle.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Felt very Templar.
So
related.
maybe he's a Freemason and he does a side gig in the with the Knights Templar, and he's all he's doing is trying to thwart them to hold the secrets of the treasure, right?
I saw something.
I had to bring that back.
Yes, I saw something on, I think, Reddit last night about, can we just agree that Charles is here to guide everybody around in places they shouldn't be? Which actually makes me think about when they were all in the swamp in the boat.
Yeah.
And Rick goes, where's where's Charles? Where's Charles? He's always going on about puzzle pieces, and we've got a real dandy of them here.
You know, it was really funny last year when they had that the cave-in at the Money Pit, and then like Charles is like there on the island at like midnight or whatever it was.
Like calling him.
Yeah, it's like, Charles, what are you even doing there, dude?
Right? What are you doing at night?
I wonder what he's doing there.
That was everybody's response. Charles. Just at night.
Yeah, I think you were like,
are you moving rocks? Are you
sabotage? No,
not
Charles.
No,
we like to have fun with Charles because of the Freemason thing, but
but he's awesome.
Yeah, we know he's completely legit and he's super on board. He wants all this stuff solved.
Yeah, he literally is too legit to quit. He's been there a long time as the historian.
Yeah, yep. Well, I think he lives and breathes Oak Island.
Yes, I would agree with that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else did we have that was chatted about in the war room? I guess we recapped a little bit about last year.
Yeah, I know that Craig was real excited about the U-shaped structure and the dendrochronology.
Yep.
Regarding it with getting dates off of those pieces of wood. And how old was it? Like 16, or was it 17? Oh, yeah, it was
wicked old.
1769, I believe, if I'm remembering right.
Marty's glad to have his evidence, and Dave tells him, well, you can't argue with a dead tree.
You can't.
Man, I feel like we've got all these little great moments, and we save them all for our clot-worthy moment. Man, there needs to be a song made with just all the amazing clips. Like, you can't argue with a dead tree.
You know, I bet we can. Oh, I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
You guys are going to have to wait. This is going to be epic, though.
I'll let you know if it's going to be epic, guys. It could
No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type it into my phone here so that you can see what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
And then you can tell me if you think it's going to be epic or not, okay? So
it'll only be epic if I do it.
Let's see.
Let's see here. We talked about the dendrochronology. Is that how it's said?
Dendrochronology.
Thank you.
That's the study of the tree rings, and 1769 was
we have the U-shaped structure.
Well, I think that was actually the slipway that dated to 1769.
That's right.
I don't remember about the U-shaped structure.
Well, we have the U-shaped structure, and then I thought what was interesting is mentioning of the concrete wall.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that they brought up the concrete wall
and called it modern.
And called it like 1930s.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I'm glad they brought it up. I'm glad they are not shying away from that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was good, but it's kind of a letdown a little bit, but it's good to know that they're willing to share stuff that they may have like thought could have been super old, and they're willing to own up like, oh, I mean, maybe it's not as a big a discovery.
I'm sorry. 1930s to me is still super old. I'm a West Coaster feeling like, yeah, that's old because everything's new here compared to, well, anywhere else on the planet. Yeah. So, but 1930s, let's say, I mean, they didn't confirm that. Nobody has confirmed or denied that. That's still a new structure that wasn't recorded before, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So see, I gotta stop with the shows.
Yeah, but if it was in the 1930s, you know, that was by some other searchers that had blocked up the water just like they did, built some kind of wall out there. So it means something, and it meant something to somebody at the time, but it's not significant to finding out who deposited stuff in, you know,
everything
on Oak
means something.
So hey, I'm going to show Deidre what I typed up, and if she laughs, then you know it might be a good idea. If she thinks,
or if I laugh, it might mean it's a really bad idea.
Yeah. All right. So look, like this. Should we make something like that using? Is it good?
Oh, I don't know if I can pull that off.
Oh, I bet we could pull it off.
Okay.
All right.
We'll give it a shot. This looks
tease.
fun.
That's a tease. It's going to be good.
Could it be?
It's going to be really fun. Oh, yeah. All right. So, yeah, we'll work on it. It might take a while, but.
Yes. Concrete wall.
Yep.
Slipway. U-shaped structure.
Pushing that sucker out 50 feet to look at the rest of the slipway, the bump out. looking forward to that. Dan's bump out. I'm looking forward
Billy's
to that.
wall, yo.
Which one was Billy's wall? His was like in the middle of Smith's Cove.
Yeah, because he's the king of the cove. Like, hello. Of course it's in the middle of the cove. And you know he totally discovered the flood tunnels and all the things. Well, okay, speaking of, so back up. Okay. When we're going to start talking about the swamp here soon, right? Okay. Yep, my notes say we're talking about the swamp.
Okay.
So we're done at the war room. We're going to go over to the swamp now.
Yep, let's hear it.
So they talk about a barge being put into the swamp to be able to do the sonic drilling. And my first thought is, remember that clip of a video of there's like a raft and a giant, heavy equipment operator on there, and he's like rowing down the river using. Oh man, I shared it saying it was like a Survivor competition and Billy's winning. And
yeah, so it was like he was using the scoop to row.
It was like row your raft.
Okay, yeah. So somebody was in like an excavator using the scoop as a rowing device.
Yeah,
okay,
it was hilarious, and that was the first thing I thought of when they were gonna. I was like, "What do you mean they're putting heavy equipment on a barge and then we're just gonna send it out to the swamp and hopefully it doesn't sink?" Marty had the same concern. Everyone's like, yeah, I hope it
I thought it was funny.
floats.
I was well, because the barge is like a floating barge, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like these huge blocks. They put 4 of them together, and
I'd say that was like 20 tons, and then the heavy equipment was 2, or I don't know. I'm making up stuff now.
You're making up numbers now, but that's
they were big numbers.
Well, it's just funny that the barge was like, not very big, and it was pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
And Marty was like worried. He's like, "Is that thing gonna float?" And he's like, "Well, I know it'll float because I think the
because it's a
construction guy was like offended. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna float. What are you talking about?" But like, I think what Marty was talking about was he wasn't sure if it was deep enough in the swamp right there to accommodate those things. But it turned out to be fine.
I understood you, Marty. Yeah. I got it.
It was pretty good.
But what was also hilarious is when you see the barge being lifted off, there's like this hole in the middle of it because they're there to do drilling.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, so there's a hole in your bucket.
Barge.
Dear Liza. And Billy's like, I'm staying on shore, guys. You can
like, you guys got this.
But then you see that there's like 5 anchors or something tied to it to get it positioned, and I was like, Billy's on the edge, right?
You know what's cool? Because they had to have the surveyor on the barge.
Yes,
Steve Guptill, and they gave him his this measuring device, and they called it his scepter.
That's right, your scepter.
Is he like a wizard?
He is now. I mean, if you're gonna be on Oak Island, anything goes.
Is he a swamp wizard?
He is. There was a swamp monster. We saw, that was one of the first things we saw in the swamp was Tony Sampson.
Oh yeah,
headed out there, and I thought he drowned for a second.
Yeah, they held the shot on him for a long time, being underwater, and like just a couple little bubbles popping up.
Well, and then all of a sudden you hear bloop, 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 bloop. I was like, oh my gosh, did he just die?
Nah, no, he's a pro.
It doesn't.
He's beyond pro.
Oak Island. Like, I was afraid it swallowed him. Like the Never-Ending Story. Atreyu or whatever happened.
I don't remember the horse's name. The horse. Narthex?
I was Narthex?
I think that's the horse's name.
Isn't that the name of the back of a church? I hope that's not what it is.
I don't remember off the top of my head what the horse's name was. I can look it up.
Explain to me why growing up there was so many movies where people get sucked into quicksand. And I saw a fantastic meme saying, do you see why I was afraid of quicksand growing up? Like, it was going to be a bigger issue when you're an adult than it actually is. I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, there was at least a lot of cartoons that had to do with quicksand.
Yeah, I mean, I remember lots of quicksand in the cartoons growing up, Wile E. Coyote, Daffy Duck, they're always getting stuck in the quicksand, right?
Yeah, so I thought it got Tony. Okay. And I was concerned.
So, yeah, well, Tony's fine. And he didn't end up glad. He did not end up like Artax. That's
Artax.
That's the name
of the horse. Yeah, not Narthax.
I was close. I haven't seen the movie in a couple of years, okay? Cut me a break. You don't let me watch cool movies anymore. Okay?
Oh, like you listen to me anyways.
You do not let me watch cool movies anymore.
Bah humbug.
Bah humbug?
Yeah, because I don't even know what cool, quote unquote. You think things like Bill and Ted are cool.
Excellent! Come on. Bill and Ted is cool. They taught me so much stuff about Socrates. Guys,
this is what I have to take out places.
And
he says things like Socrates.
You know that Caesar was a salad dressing dude?
Yeah. He was also a cipher.
If
we're going to get into codes, yo.
Is that how you break the 90-foot stone code?
Maybe. Hey. I'm going with it being more of like a Pigpen cipher or a Masonic cipher, if you will.
Okay. Well, how about I just want to touch on the 90-foot stone real quick. Because in one of the Maddie Blake specials, the preseason things, it said something about the 90-foot stone has not been found or something. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought for sure they found the 90-foot stone last season.
Yeah, with Doug. Sir Doug of Crowell.
Yeah. You know, when you had him doing his Nancy Drew thing, with the flashlight.
Everywhere you look.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, was that not the 90-foot stone? Hopefully we get some more information about that stone, because as of right now and all throughout last year, I believe that thing was legit.
I know where the 90-foot stone went.
Okay.
It was broken up and put in the Yellow Brick Road. The Swamp Brick Road.
I hope not.
Yeah, that would. You find just like random symbols. You're like, no.
Because then it's a puzzle that can't be put together.
And Charles was always talking about the puzzle pieces. He's at it again.
Oh, no.
This is his fault.
So you're saying.
I'm saying Charles broke up the 90-foot stone and made a road with it in the swamp.
And that's why it wasn't on the seismic data, because it's a new one. It's a new thing. Yeah, man. I bet you Charles is a really good scuba diver.
Your secrets are not safe with me anymore. He is probably really good at scuba diving.
Yeah. What was that funny thing you read on Reddit?
Oh, about Billy?
Yeah, about Billy.
Okay. So, I gotta stop with the fillers, with the so's. I'm sorry, guys.
It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
Tell me what you found on Reddit, because it was really funny.
I wanted to talk about the fact that there's quite a community of Oak Islanders out there. There's a bunch of groups on Facebook.
Yep.
There's the Reddit community. Usually they're drinking, and
there's lots of Oak Island drinking games going on.
Yes, and they have a lot of funny stuff going on. I'm not usually a big Reddit fan, but I like to go into the Oak Island one and see what's going on, and I upvote all my favorites. And there was a really good one that got me going, and oh man, I don't know where it went.
Like, I remembered the premise of it, but now I forgot, because I don't have the best memory.
Oh, I am well aware of that. Yeah, I thought I screenshotted it.
While she's looking that up, I am going to mention, because we were talking about Tony Sampson, right? And Tony was actually a guest on another podcast this week called Booze and Bourbon.
Yes, we love those guys.
Yeah, they are from, or at least one of them lives really close to Oak Island. I think the other host lives about an hour away. But they're two really great gals. And they have their Booze and Bourbon podcast, which is about ghosts and paranormal activity and I don't know, bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kimberly and Jen are the host names, and they're, I've listened to a couple episodes and it's actually a really fun podcast, and I'm really looking forward to the episode coming out this Friday.
Yes. We're not really big into the paranormal, the ghost stuff, but there's a lot of legends and history that goes on within the Oak Island world. So we try to keep our minds open to what these different ideas, if not folklore, are. And there's some of the people we can talk to about that because they're really well versed in the island and all that type of stuff. So
yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah. And so they interviewed Tony Sampson.
Yes.
They actually did a Q&A with Jack Bagley for this next episode that's coming out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked to us because they're doing a special Oak Island episode.
Yep.
And so we did a small little interview with Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be on the next episode of Booze and Bourbon. Like I said, comes out on Friday. So check that out. And it was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
It's just fun to talk to other people that are so interested in Oak Island, right?
And into podcasting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we get to commiserate a little bit with how soul-sucking editing is.
Wow, really? Way to keep it positive there, hon.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear the Reddit thing. But hey, thanks Booze and Bourbon.
Yes.
It was awesome to be part of that.
We had a good time.
Oh, we had a great time. It was awesome.
Let's see here.
What you got?
This was during the show.
Mm-hmm.
If you're new to this show, you should know I'm a very big Billy fan.
Yes.
Like, hashtag Team Billy. Anytime you see that, it's probably me.
Are you going to get a tattoo that says hashtag Team Billy?
No.
Okay.
No. But someone else said they were going to get Billy's head as a tattoo.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. Billy's awesome. He's my hero.
Yeah.
But says, okay, I got to read this. I really hope this Reddit person is listening. I can't wait until this show is on its 80th season and they bring 13 of Billy's 69 grandchildren. And they start crying because they're at the spot where their papa personally found the Ark of the Covenant.
You know, Billy's going to be the one that finds that thing.
He will. I guarantee it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Hufflepuff. Like that, he is going to find it.
He's a hard worker. He'll never quit.
He's Indiana Jones with heavy equipment.
Yeah. Surgical
Billy. I feel the need to send him like an Indiana Jones hat that'll like work. Because, well, no, he almost never has a hard hat on. Man, he's hardcore.
I don't need it.
Billy doesn't need a hard hat.
He's the king of the cove.
He is the king of the cove. There's a wonderful shot where you see Marty and Billy side by side in an excavator, and it's like gliding around. I was like, my dreams. Like everything
my dreams.
This world could have ever wanted is right there.
Yeah, that's a magical moment.
Yeah, Billy probably like slapped Marty's hand, like, don't touch that.
Yeah, get off, dude.
Get off. This is mine. I know what I'm doing. Get out of my sandbox.
He's like, Marty, I've seen you use this piece of equipment before. Okay, you get it, but this is my domain. Yeah,
get out of my cove. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. We had a good.
Hey, but that was so funny about Billy's great grandchildren going and being so excited and happy and emotional about him
finding the art. Oh man,
that was good.
I would be there crying because I'm like, Billy found it.
Yeah, that reminds me of something that's almost like that, but not as like funny, because that's a funny story.
Yes.
But on one of the Oak Island top 25 things you never saw, they showed almost that same situation, but with Samuel Ball's relatives and descendants. Like, why wasn't that on the show? That was amazing.
Yeah, I was actually kind of upset.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that deserved to be on the show. That was a special moment.
That was just wow.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, so on one of these things that they just didn't have time to air on one of the episodes of The Curse of Oak Island, they brought a couple of descendants from Samuel Ball's.
Making people up now.
No.
Daniel Boone
no.
and Ball,
no.
same person.
No. So Samuel Ball, his great grandsons came to Oak Island, and Rick gave them a moment to go to the
foundation.
Samuel Ball, like his foundation where his house was. And they were like they were overcome with emotion,
and I was.
Yeah, it was a special moment, and I wish they would have had time to show that on the regular show. But I'm glad they had a spot for it in this top 25, never before seen, moments. So it reminds me of that Billy thing, because the Billy thing was just funny, but this is like real.
Yeah,
this is emotional and special.
Yeah, it was. I'm really bummed it didn't make one of the regular season.
It was worth it.
Specials.
It was worthy of being on the regular show.
And even if they had done an additional episode where it was about those descendants of those that were so so important to the Oak Island story, and having them come back almost like a family reunion.
Yeah, well, they do that sometimes, and sometimes it does make the show, like like Lee Lamb when she was there. She's like descendant of Daniel McGinnis, and they have some of those moments, but I felt like that was a special moment that could have made the regular show. But I agree. It was actually beautiful.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I think do we have more swamp? We probably should touch on more swamp before we move locations.
Well, what else did happen? What happened at the swamp? What else?
Well, when Tony was diving and he was pulled up a couple different rocks that were flat.
Yeah.
And he kept hitting points following the yellow brick road, and his buoys would pop up. I laughed the first time I saw one pop up.
It was like one of those, the
car sail things.
Yeah, the thing, the things that get filled up with air and they just fly around.
That was
wave their arms like crazy.
I busted up because I didn't expect it. I didn't know all of a sudden it was gonna pop up.
It was fun to see him out there with a big metal probe, probing the ground, trying to see how deep it was, because we use probes in our treasure hunting when we're digging for buried treasure.
I was thinking about this. We need to do a side-by-side of like me using a probe and Tony using a probe to find buried treasure, because he does it way better.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely a pro. Granted, the swamp is probably a little bit softer than the ground in San Francisco. Okay. But he's going and putting that giant metal probe looking for, the hard object. And you hear, tink, 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 but it's more of like a click. And my first thought is, that sounds like a cask.
That's something we look for with the treasure hunt called The Secret.
So in The Secret, we're using soil probes often to try to find specific treasures or...
Yeah, because they're buried 3 feet deep, and you just can't... I don't... I used to be called Superman and Clark Kent when we first got together, because I was in better shape and, I had less gray and stuff.
You wore contacts sometimes.
Yeah, I wore contacts, and I was, I was basically Superman, right? But I don't have that X-ray vision, so I can't see underground to see where this stuff is buried. Yeah. And it's so hard to be able to find something that's buried 3 feet deep.
It is.
And then you factor in, I think his probe was 15 feet deep or long, the one that Tony was using. Plus, it's under that murky water.
He said it was like 5 feet under, like muck or something.
Yeah.
But he said we were right at sea level.
Yeah.
There, which was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
We got a lot more of Tony this episode. I think this is the most we've had him all in one episode. It was kind of nice to see him talking and getting some more input. And he's an expert.
He's been part of the team.
Oh yeah.
For like since the beginning. I think don't you remember they were talking about how they would like consult him and stuff before they even started doing the show?
Oh yeah. I do. But we haven't heard as much from him necessarily explaining stuff in this way, and seeing him in his element where he pops up out of the water like the sea monster and is like bloop 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 and explains everything. This is the first time we've seen that, and I liked it. Nicely done, Tony.
Nicely done. So are we wrapping up on the swamp?
Let's see here. Did I have anything
the swamp was super intriguing, and I'm excited to see what else they find there and where else it goes.
We got a new graphic about the swamp.
I love the new graphics this year. It's so nice to see some new graphics, because some of the other ones, they get tired after a while.
And we already touched on Tom Nolan
joining the team. Yep. And it was cool when they went up to chat with him, and he's like probing, or he's going to drill underneath the headstone of the Nolan's cross.
Nolan's cross.
Yeah.
very interesting. And
that was on the Maddie Blake special.
Possible, yeah,
that was
most
on the
likely.
drilling down. We're going to talk about drilling down at the end. So
yeah, but we can touch on it here too.
It was cool. It was cool.
We're go with the flow kind of people. Let's see here. I think that's all we really had for the swamp.
Okay.
I think we touched on all that. Should we go ahead and move on to Isaac's point?
Yeah, but before we do.
But wait.
There's more. Wait, there's an offer. All right, so yeah, it could be. So last year, I don't know if you remember, we had one of our partners, Audible, is a sponsor of Could It Be an Oak Island podcast, and we have a special offer URL that you could go to audibletrial.com/Oak Island podcast, and you can download a free audiobook.
Yep.
And one of the ones that you can download is by Randall Sullivan, The Curse of Oak Island.
Yep. So if you're new to the show.
Yeah, and you can have that book for absolutely free.
Free, because it's not like it goes away if you decide to cancel your trial membership. You get to keep the book. You get to, listen. But I keep mine. I try to go through about 2 books a month. Yeah. And
what do you listen to on Audible?
Oh, there's a wide variety.
What have you listened to lately?
Some psychological thrillers, some history stuff.
Yeah, I don't have, I would use your Audible account, but I would want to get like Lord of the Rings. I know that's on Audible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So there's just all sorts of stuff on Audible. You can go to our special URL, audibletrial.com/Oak Island podcast, sign up, get your first audiobook for absolutely free, and go ahead and get that Curse of Oak Island by Randall Sullivan. It's quite good. Yeah. And, you can have that book forever for free. And and free is a very good price, by the way, right?
It's the best price, unless someone's paying you.
Well, yeah, that would be something.
Yeah.
So anyway, audibletrial.com/Oak Island podcast, and you can get that offer. So, all right, where were you going? What's next?
Brought to you by us and Isaac's Cove.
Isaac's Cove.
Oh, Isaac's Point. I'm making places up. I'm sorry.
Silly girl.
Where is this? It's at the point of the nose on the elephant at the island.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it.
All right. So what is that? The east side is just very, very close to, what do I want to say? The
Smith's Cove?
Yeah, I was going to say the cofferdam, but that's in Smith's Cove. So that makes sense. Yes. And Charles and Gary go out there to do some metal detecting, see what winter has brought. We know it was a rough winter over there. Island took a beating.
The island took a real beating. And then sometime during the season, they didn't show it on the episode last night, but we know that a Hurricane Dorian hit the island too.
Rocked it like a hurricane.
Legit.
Legit.
Yeah. So I hope that didn't affect too much there. I don't know. I think they're actually still filming.
Are they?
I think so.
Wow.
They're going deep. So.
Well, I guess that makes
how deep they're going? Sorry, this is another little tangent, but last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, I saw that they had some kind of special charity event.
Yes.
With the
with the dirt.
With dirt. And I think there was like a special necklace too that you can get from this charity. But like they have legit
bottled by Rick.
Yeah, legit dirt that you can buy, like Oak Island dirt. Okay. So it's not just like any dirt.
Dirt don't hurt.
It's dirt from Oak Island. And you're able to buy this and support a good cause. But I mean,
it was dirt from different like core levels, right?
Yeah. I know that a selection of this dirt was personally bottled by Rick, like you were saying, and some was bottled by somebody else. I don't know.
Charles.
Yeah, probably Charles. It
has a secret message in it, so you should probably get some Charles when he
Charles
sends
dirt.
you.
I want some Charles dirt.
Charles dirt on Charles.
Yeah, he'd give me the dirt. All right. So anyway, I know that I think one of the auctions was like, because it told you how deep this dirt came from, and one of them I think was like 215 feet deep.
Yeah,
there might have been even deeper than that, and that's just like, wow, that's so deep.
It is.
That's deeper than anything that they've done lately in any of the boreholes for the Money Pit for last season. I think they went down to like 170, 180 feet. So it's like significantly deeper.
Whoa, that's deep.
And so that's something to look forward to this season, because it's got to be from
that's like
this year.
drilling down to Middle Earth or something, right?
Middle
Is that a
Earth?
thing?
Middle Earth is a thing.
Ooh, sorry. I just got attacked.
Yes, Middle Earth is a thing, and I could tell you all about it. And
No,
you can learn all about it if you just watch Lord of the Rings with me.
We're not going to get into this.
She won't watch it with me, you guys. It's lame. Like, it's the best movie ever made, and she doesn't want anything to do with it.
You're lame.
No, you're lame.
You're lame.
All right, go ahead.
Isaac's Point.
Yes.
They do some metal detecting.
Yes, what did they find?
They found a shotgun shell.
Yeah, they got real excited about that shotgun shell.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, it's a coin."
Nope, not a coin.
Nope, not a coin.
So what else did they find?
They also found a button.
A button?
A button.
Yeah, it had a lot of corrosion on it.
It did, but it looked like it had some type of silver plating. Laminate, I think, was the word that was used, and then it had like a starburst pattern.
Yeah,
it's an old button.
They take that back to the research center and do some additional testing on it later on. Right? That's cool.
Laird takes a look at it. They have a conservator come look at it.
Wasn't it funny? Like Laird gave an opinion on it and Gary gave an opinion on it.
Oh man,
who was on point?
Laird was
was on point.
I thought there was going to be a duel right there. I thought it was coming down to Laird versus Gary showdown in the research center.
Well,
over a button.
Hey, Gary knows a lot.
Gary does.
Gary's been places.
Laird's also an archaeologist.
Yes. And, well, archaeologists, Laird knows a lot.
Yeah.
He's like...
And Gary's very good at finding a lot.
Yeah.
On lots.
They're a good team. It's just funny that Laird was like,
I did it a little later, and then sure enough, it came back.
Yep, exactly what Laird said. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, so what else did they find?
They found what looked to be an iron spike.
And
it seemed different.
Yeah, it did. It kind of had a bulge in the middle of the spike.
Well, it was a very pointy tip. It wasn't. I remember when he picked it up thinking, oh, that looks more like a weapon.
Yeah.
Or a really big toothpick. But it was interesting. Who mentioned that it didn't have a lot of corrosion or pitting? I
don't recall.
And
I was probably tweeting at the time. I was trying to keep up with the live tweets.
You were trying to keep up with the live tweets. But what Gary was saying is he wasn't concerned about that because that meant likely that it was older, very dense, a better iron.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't corrode. And who knows where it came from.
Who knows how old it is after we went and chatted with the blacksmith about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it could have been who knows, caveman. But
caveman.
he gives a really wide range.
He does give a wide range. He says it's definitely before 1800, but it could be as old as 1300s. He said 14th century.
Yes.
That's old.
That's wicked old.
Yeah, that guy, his name's Carmen.
Carmen Lang.
Lang, yeah.
Yeah, the blacksmith.
Lane. Yeah, so that guy, they used him last year.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, to check out the hinge.
Yes, the hinge.
No, the hinge.
Oh, the hinge.
The hinge.
For the door.
Yeah.
For the floodgate.
Yeah, who knows? And that was supposedly pretty old too, 1600s, he thought. So he gives a really wide range, which is a little concerning, but he's been working with this kind of stuff his entire life, so he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, and things like that could have been, I assume, reused, passed down. That's why I was thinking about this particular item, which he said was a hand point, which would be a tool for carving on rock or maybe wood, but you would use a wood mallet to tap the top of it. Yeah. Which is interesting because we've seen a lot of carving on rocks all over Oak Island. But my thought would be if it's a tool and it's old, right? It wouldn't be uncommon, especially as a mason or stonemasons, to have those tools maybe passed down to another generation. Yeah, a son coming up or something like that. So it could have been 1400s European, basically. And this guy's great-great-grandson used it in the 1700s in Oak Island, Oak Island. And then dropped it and it's like, oh, sorry, great-great-great-grandpa.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to lose your heirloom.
Well, maybe he lost it in a battle with his button. Who knows? Maybe he used it to cut off his button for something. It was like a Mission Impossible thing. Like he had to like stick the button into like a little hole and twist it, and then the door opened, and very Indiana Jones or National Treasure.
He had to solve a puzzle, huh?
Yeah, he had to solve a puzzle, and it involved a button and a hand point chisel. Is
it basically a chisel?
Mm-hmm.
That thing could have been used to craft the HO stone.
Mm-hmm.
What about the 1704 stone?
Maybe.
I don't know. What about, remember that Templar cross? That's, I don't remember the official name of it, but carved on that big stone. I don't know.
Like a long ways away.
Not that long. Not that far away, but yeah, it's not on Oak Island, so maybe not.
Yeah, so probably not the same thing. Maybe it was used for the 10 Commandments that they found last season.
Okay, so I think God made the 10 Commandments, and he probably didn't use a chisel.
He might have.
Maybe. You think? Okay, well.
Well, I think the 10 Commandments was found there from the Peace Stone.
Moses was instructed to use like that chisel.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
God gave him a hand point. A hand point and a wooden mallet, and said, "Get to work."
Okay, the 10 Commandments are older than the 1300s, okay?
You're older than 1300s. Don't burst my bubble, yo.
Okay, all right.
It's the only other thing carved in stone I can think of that was old, okay?
Oh, man, that's good.
Because I'm funny, yo.
Well, the blacksmith also said, like, the western side or they were talking about the western side of the island being more stones and more, it would have had more use on that side of the island, but it was found on the opposite side, so it's just curious.
Yep. Very curious. Also, it was curious that word was used a lot this episode. Very curious. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and talk about... Well, we already talked about Smith's Cove.
Yeah.
Really, our next big thing would be the research center. And then when we already talked about them going to New Ross.
Yeah. So we got most of that down.
Yeah.
Now we can play that clip where it's, this season on Oak Island, and we could chat about that.
Okay. Let's see here.
Let's press play.
This season on The Curse of Oak Island.
Guys, we're in the eye of the swamp now. Puzzle pieces are getting bigger. Picture's getting smaller. Moment of truth, buddy.
This is it. Here it comes.
Come on, baby. Be something good.
We have several key targets. The swamp itself, initiated at around 1220 AD. I want to find out what's in that swamp.
Oh, my gosh. I thought we eliminated it years ago. It keeps coming back from the dead.
We're all curious to see what's at the end of that slipway.
Hey, Billy, there's one down there.
What happened underground?
If we're going to hit a flight tunnel, it's probably going to be right here. Let's get after it. Here we go. If we find it, it's going to go directly to the money pit.
Whoa. Oh, wow, look at that.
We hit the flood tunnel. Let's go.
The swamp holds closely guarded secrets.
There could be a chamber.
He went into an opening.
That's a tunnel. Come on.
The steps seem to lead down to something.
This could be one of the oldest treasure troves.
This is what we've been looking for.
Wow. It's all true.
Ow, it looks like Jack got hit hard.
Yeah, Jack kind of got owned by the
wall there at the very end of that.
Yeah, so like some kind of wall or like dirt that's compacted against this wall they're excavating kind of like fell over on Jack's back.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yikes. But wow.
That's
some crazy stuff.
Yeah, then
1200s for the creation of the swamp. That's what the geoscientist said.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why the 10 Commandments are there.
10 Commandments older than that.
Yeah,
silly.
I know. They had to hide them there at some point. Yeah, it's not like they hid them before they were made.
Okay, touche. Yeah, so
I win.
This season looks insane.
My mind is blown. I saw Billy found something else.
Yeah.
King of the Cove.
You see Billy like with that because they've got some kind of different excavator that has really long arm, really long reach. And I thought they're digging a hole that was like to China. You know, like
to Middle Earth, apparently.
It was way down there.
Yeah, and someone was in the bucket.
Yeah, who's in the bucket?
Are we betting? Because it didn't look like either of the brothers. I was kind of thinking it was
Pierre
Gary.
Okay.
Pierre.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, I think he was wearing khaki.
Okay, so you think it was Gary?
Yeah.
I think it was Marty.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just think it was Marty.
It would be a Rick thing to do.
It would definitely be a Rick thing to do, but I thought it was Marty.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. This is going to be probably the craziest season of The Curse of Oak Island yet. And last season was crazy.
I wonder how many how many episodes we officially get.
I heard there was over 30 hours this season, but
we're 2 hours in.
That could have also counted the drilling down and all of those preseason specials, because those preseason specials were 2 hours apiece, and there's 4 of them. That's 8 hours right there. So we could be 11 hours in, but I don't think so. I think those are technically part of season 7 still, season 6, because this is season 7, episode 1, right?
Yeah, I mean, just think about how they record on our DVR.
Yeah,
they show up as different shows. Like you have to record them separately. Of course, I'm basing this off of our DVR. Like that actually is some kind of concrete evidence of whatever.
Even the concrete wall wasn't concrete enough evidence to mean anything.
It was from the 30s.
Yeah.
It's about all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got.
We got some tunnels, we got some wood down there.
We do.
We got a boat, hopefully.
I got a boat.
We at least have a barge in the swamp.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw Gary in the swamp.
We did see Gary in the swamp. Yeah, I don't know. We guys got a lot of interesting things that seem to point to a lot of interesting areas and interesting developments. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm real excited for this season. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, because they were cutting more wood too. So there's going to be some more dendrochronology tests, right?
Yep.
So this is it's going to be like lamb chops play along.
What? Wait a second. How did you draw a parallel with Lamb Chop's Play On? Is that because it's the song that never ends?
It's the story that never ends. I was just gonna
the never-ending story.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Na da 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 da.
It's the song that never ends.
Yeah, but it's a story that.
Yeah,
never
but
ends.
you gotta mash them,
Yo.
I know too much yo's this episode. Sorry, y'all.
Boom.
Goes the dynamite.
I know that's a trigger word for us. So
it is.
It's funny. All right, let's chat a little bit about the Maddie Blake drilling down special, because that's it goes with the theme of this season on.
Yeah, this season on. All right, they don't tell him a lot.
Yeah, they don't.
Keep dangling that over him. It's kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I've got a little list here. So
check it twice.
Yeah, check it twice. Now they touched on remembering Dan Blankenship at the beginning, obviously, and that was touching as always. It's going to be a hard season without him.
Yeah.
They touched on bumping out the cofferdam. They touched on quite a bit that ended up being in this first episode.
Yeah, because it's a precursor.
Yeah, but it was cool that they were able to take Maddie out there and show him the bump out, even though it hasn't happened on the show yet, right?
Yeah.
That's funny how that kind of how that happens,
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of hilarious that he's like, okay, it's fine that there's one thing I don't know about. And Marty laughs at him and says, there's lots of things you don't know about.
yeah, that was pretty good.
I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they, again, touched on the seismic data from the swamp and how the anomalies over 200 feet long, 40 feet wide on one side, 25 feet on the other. And Steve Guptill, the surveyor, was there with that I don't think he was a geophysicist, was he? Anyway, Dr. Spooner, I don't remember what his title was. They talk about the swamp and they confirmed that it was largely man-made.
Oh yeah, and that it was quite old.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
They touched again on Tom Nolan being part of the team.
Yep.
So that was fun. And that was when it showed him, beginning his work to excavate beneath the headstone in the center of Nolan's cross.
That's right.
Yeah, and
I hope they don't blow it up and then drill underneath.
They're not
I hope
gonna-
they just move it.
they're definitely not going to blow it up.
Learn from our past mistakes, friends.
Yeah, that's pretty sad that they blew up the HO stone and they blew up that weird triangle pattern just south of the money pit.
Well, because everybody thinks they found X marks the spot. So why would I record it? I record everything, but
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm crazy.
Yeah. So what else do we have? Oh, it's just funny. Every time I see that headstone from Nolan's Cross, now I think of John the Baptist, being the skull and crossbones.
Yes.
That theory that was
I do think
broadcast
of
last
that
year.
quite often.
Yeah, that was fun. Let's see. Oh, it was funny that, who said this? Was it, I think Maddie and Rick grasped hands and Maddie's like, brothers for life.
Oh, yeah. I was like, are they related?
I was thinking, you didn't take over for Marty, dude.
Yeah, sorry. Marty's still Marty.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Just all sorts of fun things. Oh, they talked to the blacksmith again. They had some kind of big, giant hammer head, you remember?
Like Thor's?
Kinda, but it was just like the head of it, and it was like super dense and super heavy for its size. And that was also something they used.
I don't know how I
concretes.
missed Thor's hammer. So we have Thor's hammer, Yellow Brick Road,
Dan's Bone,
the Ark of the Covenant. Wow, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing Marty said was they're hoping for, in addition to all the blood, sweat, and tears, and in addition to the money they throw at this year, they're hoping for a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck this year would go a long way.
With treasure hunting, you have to have a lot of smarts, but you also got to have a little bit of luck.
You do, for sure. Rick refused to be compared to Dan Blankenship or Fred Nolan. Yeah,
he's so humble.
He is very humble. He just has such reverence for those guys.
Yeah.
And what they've done. They've been on the island for about 10 years or a little bit more than that, I think, total.
Yeah.
And, that's not the 50 and 60 years.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get it. But sorry, dude, you're getting pushed in the circle.
Well, that's the episode's called the Passing the Torch, right?
Yep.
So
I don't think they talk about the Olympics.
Yeah. Who's this torch being passed to?
The Oak Island Olympics. This feels like a good video idea. Ice hole diving and
oh man, you're funny.
Money pit digging. Oh man, I got some good sports for the Oak Island Olympics.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
The train.
Okay, you can stop. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
All right. Can't tell Maddie what they're most excited about yet was one of my notes.
Well, that's a duh.
That's a dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
What have they got?
Stuff.
It's gonna be good stuff. And I don't know. That kind of wraps it up. It was a fun little Maddie Blake special.
It was a good warm up.
I like a good drilling down every once in a while.
It was a good warm up and a good wrap up for us.
Yeah.
But what's a great wrap up?
What?
Clotworthy.
Oh, you have clotworthy moments?
I sure do.
Yeah.
And if you are new to Could It Be an Oak Island podcast, let us explain to you what a clotworthy moment is.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Literally, let's hear it. Because you guys have probably been watching Curse of Oak Island for quite a while. And you may or may not have cared much about the narration. We tend to think that Robert Clotworthy, he helps make the show.
He's the dynamite.
Boom! I want to hear Robert Clotworthy go boom goes the dynamite.
We could probably arrange that.
We should.
He's a nice guy.
He gave us some really good Could It Be's.
Yes.
This time, and that was exciting. He also gave us some great Clotworthy moments.
Yeah, a Clotworthy moment is, like one of the instances, like last year we had where he just all of a sudden they're talking about something and he'll say manganese, it's just like
it's his overexcitement.
Yeah.
Or
like what was another one from last year?
Absurd things that he says.
Axe cut wood.
Yeah.
I think your favorite.
Axe cut
what was your favorite? Your favorite one from last year was probably secret recipes written in code. Oh, see, I knew it. I knew it.
That was hands down my favorite. I'm
Yeah.
writing all my recipes in code now.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Man. So anyway, we have clout-worthy moments from this episode, and what we do is we play them for you, and then you vote. You go to our Facebook page or to our Twitter page? Feed.
Account.
I always have a tough time figuring out what to call Twitter. You go to Oak Island Pod on Twitter.
You don't know how anything works. You really don't know anything about Instagram at all and refuse to learn.
I'm good.
Facebook, you think you're a pro at, but you still call it like your page, or you think it's MySpace. But, we have stepped up from there.
Whatever.
But
I'm over it.
That's good.
It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
I'm glad it doesn't bother you.
So you go on to Twitter, and then you find at Oak Island Pod, because that's us, and you'll be able to vote on the clot-worthy moment, whatever one you think is the best, and we'll play the winner on the next episode. So 2 ways to vote would be on Twitter, and then you could go to facebook.com/Oak Island Podcast, and we'll have a poll up there. So make sure to vote. It's a lot of fun.
We're going to tally the votes, and we'll get back to you next week.
Yeah, so what are the clot-worthy moments from this week?
Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. The first one.
A stone wharf.
A stone wharf? Ooh.
Could it be?
Is that your gray brick road?
Yes.
Okay.
That is my gray brick.
Stone wharf.
So it'd make it like a silver brick road. Gray brick. Okay.
What?
Okay.
So that was the first one.
All the clot-worthy moments are pretty well themed around each other because I got a good kick out of them.
Okay.
A possible roadway or path buried in the swamp.
A possible roadway or path buried in the swamp. I love it.
It seems like a very inefficient place. Like, if it were me, I wouldn't put a path or roadway there. But hey.
Hey, what if there was no swamp water at the time? What if they had blocked it off on both sides and it was dry after they had, run the ship aground?
Yeah.
So they could unload it.
For pushing treasure around in giant crates.
Yeah,
that's my favorite animation.
From last year?
Yep.
That was pretty fun.
Okay. One more.
Oh, there's 3.
There is, because I think you're going to like this one.
Okay, let's hear it.
A stone road located some 5 feet beneath the surface of the Oak Island swamp and near the area where Eagle Canada has identified an anomaly in the shape of a large ship, possibly a Spanish galleon.
Man, that just kept going on. I love it.
You like the long ones, so I made
gosh.
sure to have a really long-winded one. Like, there was a couple commas in that sentence, but he didn't, stop.
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
He must have a really good set of lungs.
Yeah. Well, he is a voice actor. It's what he's trained in.
Okay, so maybe...
Narrator and voice actor. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Those are some fun.
Hey, don't try to influence our listeners.
Okay. But if
I see you throwing the vote.
No, I'm not throwing no vote. Go to Twitter. Go to Facebook. Like I gave you the instructions already, and I don't want to mess it up again or anything.
He likes to repeat himself.
And I like to repeat myself. But go there and vote for your favorite clot-worthy moment.
Yep. Okay, so where can they find us on social media? We've already told you 2 of the places.
Well, say it again.
Okay, so Twitter is at Oak Island Pod. Facebook and Instagram is at Oak Island Podcast. And they can email us at
oakislandpodcast@gmail.com.
Do you know our phone number? Or should we look that up for you?
I could look it up. I know where it is.
That's good. We also have a phone number, and since we haven't given it out in a while, maybe we should look it up for our listeners.
Yeah, I don't just know it off the top of my head. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, or if you're from the History Channel and you want to talk to us about being the official podcast of the Curse of Oak Island someday.
That'd be rad.
Yeah, that'd be cool. 360-836-4549.
All right.
One more time?
One more time.
Oh, I think they're good.
Oh, okay. You can rewind it 15 seconds.
Yeah, and then you can get
10.
it again. It's
yeah,
fun.
and you'll get it again.
Yeah, so before we go, we have some reviews.
Woo! We had a few new ones while we were off, and we haven't got to share them, and I love sharing your reviews.
Yes. So we have 2 reviews to share, and we're going to pull off one from Apple Podcasts, and the other one is from Facebook. Okay.
Right.
So from Apple Podcast, from Trekker, 5 stars. It says, a must for Oak Island fans. If you're crazy about the Curse of Oak Island on the History Channel, you will love this podcast. I just recently found the Curse of Oak Island and have binged the first 6 seasons. Sounds like something people do. Yeah. I know that.
That's a lot.
Well, I know that somebody I am friends with on Facebook recently discovered Oak Island as well, and they binged the first 4 seasons in one day.
No.
Yeah. Hey,
Is there enough hours in the day to do that?
Hey, they didn't have as long of seasons back then. But yes. So anyway, sorry. I didn't
just blew my mind.
Yeah. So I've binged the first 6 seasons. This podcast is a deep review of each episode and brings up many things I didn't notice. I hope they continue in season 7. Your wish is granted, Trekker.
Your wish is my command.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks so much for that review. That was killer.
It means a lot to us.
It does.
Thank you.
And feel free, if you like our show, go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. That helps us a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Gets people to notice us, and helps get the word out. Our other review is from Facebook.
Yes. We love these.
Yeah, this is from Andrew Love. He recommends Could It Be an Oak Island podcast? It says, I love listening to your show. I just started from the beginning on Friday, and I'm already halfway through. You two are hilarious, and I love hearing all the new theories about Oak Island.
I think it's hilarious that he thinks we're hilarious. You're so sweet.
He's probably talking about me.
No, I highly doubt it. We have this argument constantly, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm way more funny than you.
Okay, I'll let you run with that. That's fine.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. So that is almost the end of the show. We have one more special thing.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we just launched a Patreon page.
Woo!
What? So if you want to support us, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Because you go there and make a monetary contribution.
Yep.
And it goes to, just help us maintain the show, helps us, it gives us, if we have some goals on there, if we hit those certain goals, it'll basically carve out some extra time for us to be able to record more stuff for you guys.
Because, we still have to work. We still have to pay the bills. It's not free to create a podcast. We do have to pay, for it to have this hosted. We have to, there's equipment, there's a lot of just like maintenance fees and things like that. But we love doing this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Just to be clear, we're not going up behind a paywall.
Nope.
It's still going to remain free to you, but you can get some extras.
Yeah, like if you subscribe at any level, you can go to, we'll have one time a week, we'll do a Facebook Live in a special Patreon group for our podcast.
Yep.
And we will take questions, chat about whatever you guys want to chat about, and probably Oak Island, but we're
Very
down
much.
for whatever you want to ask us about. If you want to ask us about other treasure hunts, we're fine with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll take questions and it'll be a lot of fun. One of our goals is to be able to do a bonus episode every month where we it's actually going to be a lot of fun. We're going to watch season 1, episode 1 of The Curse of Oak Island. And we are going to have our podcast equipment in front of us, watch this episode and do commentary through the whole thing. And so what you can do is watch the episode as well, press play when we, when we're ready for you to, and that way you can hear our commentary while you're watching the show as well. It's we call it a watch along.
Yep.
And that's one of our goals.
It's like sitting around and watching our favorite show with our friends.
Yeah, together.
We can all chat in the comments and we can talk. And we're excited.
Yeah. So we
hope to do that.
This is just fun stuff. Like we said, it's not required, but if you can contribute anything, it'll be awesome. And we would just really appreciate it. If you want to look into it, just go to patreon.com/Oak Island Podcast. Pretty easy to remember. And you can help us out.
You sure can.
And so if you do that, we want to thank you. One of the other goals is there's different levels you can contribute.
Yes.
One of them will get you a free t-shirt.
That's right. Get some gear.
Yeah. So, and
that's just for the, a special one for the patrons.
Yeah.
We will have gear that you could purchase as a non-patron, but there'll be a special design
That's right.
Exclusive
For
those card carrying members.
Yeah. So go to patreon.com/Oak Island Podcast and you can support us. And we just really appreciate it. And we just want to say thank you in advance to anybody that does that.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for listening. I'm overwhelmed with how wonderful you guys are. Over this break, we've still got this great community conversation going. Everybody has been so kind, and
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, we average almost 100 downloads through like all of our episodes during the off season, like every day.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody was listening.
Yeah,
in the off season.
Yeah, why are people listening in the off season? Because they're catching up.
Yeah,
and, and we're getting new people that never heard us before. So, we just want to say thank you to anybody that's found us recently. We want to say thank you to everybody that has supported us last year and everybody that's going to support us this year.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome.
We've got some long time listeners. We've got some new listeners. Tell a friend. Let's get them involved.
Yeah, anybody that you know that likes Oak Island, let them know we're here.
Yep. All right. I guess we should sign off. So until next time.
Could it be?